The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship visits the land of the rising sun. And as the afternoon shadows stretch long and thin, it's the Origami Pretzel, the Figure 8 racetrack better known as Suzuka, that will host rounds 7 to 12 on the Season 5 calendar. And all the simulated open-wheel racing from both the 40-minute opening feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Konnichiwa, everyone, and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. Soup and Crackers, Bill Soup's on, and my partner Sean Crackers Ambrose up in the booth all season long to call the action. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director Amjad Yaman, armed with camera locations created exclusively for GSRC by its in-house director of photography, Dougie Beard.
If you've brought cyberspace into your place, then over the next 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines and all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader Formula Renault 2.0 Championship event that will immediately follow. Today's race starts the second half of Season 5, but last week's first half finale was one for the archive, Soup.
Indeed it was. Kerry Nolden was on the pole for the second round in a row. Michael Mittner started third, got around Phil Reed in the first turn, and then when Nolden slid wide in the roller coaster, found himself out in front. Mittner stretched the lead, and it looked like a wire-to-wire victory was certainly a possibility, but then he spun in pit entry, taking himself out of contention. A few laps later, Reed jumped Nolden in the pits to get the lead, and then only to give it back when he had an off track. Nolden said thank you to his teammate and went on to pick up his second win of the season. Rene Osterkamp avoided all the chaos, moved up 4 spots to earn second place. Adam Tierney employed the early peel, late reveal strategy to go from 5th to 3rd. Reed settled for 6th. Now, 22 drivers finished on the lead lap of the feature race, which meant that when the field was inverted for the sprint race, Jonas Villman was on the pole inside a fan favorite Sarah Dove. The drivers were able to squeeze in 15 laps in the 25 minutes of racing that was allotted for the sprint race. Dove made quick work of Villman, who fell down the order fairly quickly to eventually finish in 13th. Former champion Jean-Francois Godin went from 5th to 2nd on the first lap and slowly closed the gap to Dove over the next 10 minutes. On lap 11, Lawrence Strike got around Godin to take 2nd, allowing Little Bird to edge away. But with 5 minutes remaining, Dove spun from the lead at the very same time that Sudden Strike to Reich went wide, allowing Godin to shoot through the smoke and into the lead. Now, all the while, feature race winner Kerry Nolden had worked his way up from 21st to 3rd, and on the last lap, Nolden got around de Reich for 2nd, and then in a daring maneuver, Nolden did away with Godin for the lead and went on to achieve the rare double victory. De Reich wrestled 2nd away from Godin, who took 3rd, while Little Dove had to settle for nesting in 8th place. Whew. Now, let's look at how they worked out here for feature and sprint points. With the feature and sprint race sweep, it's no surprise to see Kerry Nolden on top there for VIR. Rene Osterkamp came in 2nd. Christian Tkach and Adam Tierney tied for 3rd. Hey, a driver that has caught the eye of both fan and commentator alike is Jeroen de Quartel, who rounds out the overlay. But that was then. To talk about the now, Crackers, tell us about the Origami Pretzel, better known as Suzuka.
And konnichiwa to you, Soup. Located right here in Suzuka City, Japan, this track opened in 1962. Yeah, it started as a test track for Honda. Now, one of the great things about this track, it's got a variety of corner types, a few high-speed portions, and a figure-8 layout that offered more of an equal amount of left and right turns, made it perfect as a test track, but a challenge as a racetrack, as you're going to see here today. They hosted F1 in 63 and 64 before the Formula One circuit went to Fuji. Fuji, modeled after the old pole position racing game there. Modified several times in 83, the Casino Triangle was added, and the Degner curve was made into 2 corners instead of one long curve. Soup, the best way to get an idea of what it's like to get around the 17 turns on this 5.8 kilometer circuit is to go on board with the GSRC Formula Renault.
All right, we've got Scott Newton in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Suzuka. Coming down to turn 1, even though you're likely to see passes here, it's going to be hairy on the entry. You're braking and turning at the same time, which means drivers will be on the limit and will make too wide rather risky. Turn 2 is basically an extension of turn 1, but you'll use that banking to swing the car down and around, carrying your speed. Bringing the car across the track, we head into the S's. These bends get longer and longer as they go, slowing the car with each one. Try to set up for each successive corner instead of drifting wide at the exit. The final right-hander can be especially tricky since it tightens towards the end. Once you come out of the last one, you've hit Dunlop, but in the Renault, it's easily flat out. Hug the left side of the track to shorten it up and set yourself up for Degner 1. A stab of the brakes and a flick of the wheel will take you clattering across the curb at a high rate of knots. Then before you know it, you've got to slow much more for Degner 2. Tucking it way down to the apex will be critical through here. After you head under the bridge, you then approach the hairpin. The kinked entry can make it tough to predict whether a driver will stay defensive, and that sometimes causes race-ending wrecks under braking. Like most hairpins, just square off the exit of this baby for the best possible launch. And you'll really need it because the long turn 12 is essentially a straight in this car. Keep your foot to the floor and hug the inside. The draft might help just enough here to offer you an opportunity to overtake into spoon, but this double apexer has a quick entry for the first half. You let the car drift out and slow it down some more for the second apex. The exit off of here is going to be one of the most important ones of the course. Hesitate to get on the power and you'll regret it on the long climb up the backstreet. This is another spot where the slipstream will make battles erupt often, but once again, going too wide will really separate the brave from the faint of heart. Going through 130R side by side will frazzle nearly everyone's nerves. Then you've got an excellent opportunity to outbrake your opponent into the Casio triangle. But like Scott shows, it's going to be easy to come in here too hot. Keep the car steady over the curb so that you can get your foot to the power confidently. The final turn is an easy, gentle bend. Bring the car across to the racing line, and if you kept it all together, you've now finished a lap around Suzuka.
There you have it, Joe Peak on the mic and Scott Newton on the wheel, taking us around Suzuka. Thanks to the Apex Racing UK for providing today's lap guide. Right now, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, so we can't show you the actual racing going on. Before we talk about the points, Sean, let's talk a little bit here about this track and some of the places you found interesting.
Well, Soup, yeah, I put some time in the car yesterday, and I can tell you this very average reporter could only get about 6 seconds to the end of the field in yesterday's 4-hour practice. But, one of the really, really challenging parts of this track is really it starts coming out of turn 2. The snake is so inviting. That's the S's here that'll take you into the back section of the course. It's so inviting to want to really get on the power and try and speed through there as quick as you can. The problem is that you're starting to head uphill. And you find yourself actually off power a lot, getting as much momentum as you can going into the snake and then really off power up through that. And then the Dunlop curve, which is turn 7, that's the uphill part right there. Really hard to hold grip through there. It's a real challenge of what gear you want to be in and what's going to really allow you to keep that car glued to the track. Because now once you get through that section, then you get to Degner, which is a really, really, really slow right-hander. I say really slow. It's pretty fast, but the problem is you don't want to get the car too far out to the left, Super. You're going to be in really, really big trouble out of Degner, and you want to be fast out of Degner. You want a lot of momentum to take you down to the hairpin, because that's what sets up for the last really, really fast part of this course, the 200R and down through the spoon curve. The backstretch is a real fun ride, flat out, all the way down to the last curve.
And getting the tires warm up here is always an issue for these guys, that they have to be patient early on. Sean, let's go ahead and talk about the series details right now, as we have quite an interesting format that this series has for us.
All right, well, welcome to round 7 of 12 here in Season 5. Now, there are 2 events in the season. That's a combination of the feature and sprint total. This is the Formula Renault 2.0. Great car, lots of power, 2000cc, 4-cylinder, 16-valve, naturally aspirated motor. It is fun to drive. If you've not driven it, go ahead and go get one and get in that thing. Try it here at Suzuka because this is a wicked fun track. The open setup, we will be working with the open setup. There's a lot of practice gone into this, a lot of secrecy between drivers, and only 40% of fuel soup. So that means in the feature race, we are going to see a pit stop for sure. Now, it is 2 races per event. The feature race is 40 minutes, the sprint race 25. So we'll have 2 winners possibly, or a repeat, as we've seen that before. Standing starts, no time to heat up the tires. Again, I think grip is going to really be an issue here in the early laps of this race, and there's a lot of spots to get in trouble here at Suzuka. No fast repairs. Getting in trouble can end your race. The Formula Renault 2.0 doesn't take damage very well, and a hard shunt will end a day for you here, at least in the feature or sprint race. Incident cap, there is one, Sue. The amount of points or incidents are different in the feature from the sprint, a little bit less for the sprint race. Now, today's weather, it's 22 degrees Celsius under a partly cloudy condition, 27 degrees Celsius on track. I think we've got great weather here for a really good race today.
Well, you talked about the 2 races. Let's go ahead and look at the event format quickly that's coming up for those.
All right, Sue. So we're in the middle of a 3-lap qualifying session right now, a lone qualifying session. The feature race is 40 minutes with 1 stop, a large window for pitting. You do have a fair amount of fuel on the car, so again, that window pretty wide. The grid is set, of course, by qualifying. This is what we're in right now. The incident cap that I talked about before, it is 13 incidents. You'll lose half your race points if you hit that limit. If you hit 17, you'll disqualify from the event. That is the one you really want to avoid. I think we'll be okay at Suzuka as long as you're not getting off the track a whole bunch. Now, the sprint race only going to be 25 minutes with no stop. You won't need it. The beautiful thing about the sprint race, and one of the really fun things about this format, is we will inverse the grid from all the cars that finished on the lead lap. Now, lap down cars, they will settle at the back of the grid, but Soup, we were talking about it in the pre-race. Suzuka, pretty long track. We may see a lot of cars fighting in that sprint race. We could, with potential, I don't know, we've got 33 cars here right now. Is it fair to say maybe 25?
I would think
27 finish on the lead lap.
Yeah, being the last car on the lead lap, that's big. That puts you on the pole for the quick 25-minute feature when they invert everything. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at the point standings here. Now, before we look at these, take a lap through the standings, I'm excited to announce that the GSRC stat boys, Simon and Poindexter, have been burning the midnight oil, crunching the numbers, and we're able to present for you here for the very first time anywhere the point standings that take into account the 2 dropped races the rules allow for. Now, in the wake of Kerry Nolden's double win at VIR, Aperture Racing Star climbs 3 spots into 2nd place, 13 points behind Carbon Racing's Gunnar Nienhaus. Remember, Gunnar was a no-show at Suzuka, so those 0 results will fall away. Dropping 1 spot each were Vector Sim Sports' Christian Koch and Christian Tkach of Red Devil Racing. Moving to the left side of the overlay is Sim RT's Renee Osterkamp. Welcome to the left side. Aperture and Vector put second drivers on the chart in the form of Phil Reed and Michael Mittner. Quantum's Adam Tierney, Evo Sonic's Jean-Francois Godin, and Force Fissi's Knut Martinson round out the right side. Now, let's look at the team standings. Huge news in the team standings here as the championship has a shakeup up top. Aperture moves around Vector for the lead. Seeing nothing but green arrows lately is Red Devil Racing. Hey, make a note of this, kids. They are 63 points out of the lead starting the second half of the season. Something tells me they're going to be a factor when this thing's all said and done. Now, the yang to Red Devil's yin is Carbon Racing. Once the point leader, they now find themselves languished in 14th. Force Fissy holds station in 5th. And welcome back to the Overlay Drillers Motorsports, up 2 spots now into 9th. Sean, there you have it. We got through all the stuff we've needed to talk about. Our director has our live cameras back on there for us. And it should be a good show here at Suzuka. I love this place, even though I keep calling for them to demolish the overpass and put it into an actual intersection. I don't think that's going to happen. But other than that, I love Suzuka.
Well, I enjoyed my ride on the Ferris wheel before we got started today, and feeling pretty good. It's a beautiful day here on track, and Soup, this one's going to be fun. I'm really, I don't want to look past the feature race, but again, we talked about the potential for a lot of cars with something at stake there in that sprint race. Should be interesting watching the class of the field try to make their way through. But I got to be honest, qualifying looking very interesting right now as it's wrapping up. I see a couple names here towards the top that we haven't seen previously. So, yeah, there's a bit of shakeup in the ranks.
Couple big names that are missing is Michael Mittner's not here today. He's always a favorite to do well as we wait for qualifying to wrap up. We can get through the qualifying right now. We'll take them 10 at a time since it's a standing start. We have to hustle through it. On the front row, Gunnar Nienhaus and Christian Tkach. Row 2 is going to be made up of Renault Osterkamp and Phil Reed. 5th and 6th go to Patrick Kessler and Scott Newton. Row number 4, Kerry Nolden inside of Manuel Hoyer. And the 5th row is comprised of the Milkman, Andy Cowie, and Daniel Morris. Sean?
All right, row 6, Adam Tierney, Christopher Holstein. Row 7, Jack Nienhaus and Knut Martinson. Row 8, Harry Damon, Lee Robinson. Row 9, Luke White, Bruno Dometer. And row 10, going to be Jeroen de Kortel and Evan Imre.
Hidden blackjack, it is Stevie Chambers. And in the double duck position, Erka Lindstrom. Next row is going to be made up of Alexander Valdo and Victorio Saltalamacchia. 25th and 26th, Ashley Howell and Silvio Hurt. Mark Forte in the 27th position, Jean-Francois Godin in 28th, 29th and 30th. A newcomer, Asilio Tejas back there in 29th, 30th. It's Lawrence Sudden Strike to Reich, and I'll just wrap out the rest of these here. Ty McLeod, Sarah Dove, and Alain Felipe Andre back in the 33rd position. 33 names on the starting grid. 27 of them were able to put in qualifying times, and the big name is the guy up front, and that is, of course, our point leader, although it is shrinking a bit, Gunnar Nienhaus. Waiting for Christian Tkach, sitting in second position to actually take his starting grid. Sean, he must have realized that the commentators had to get through a lot of names and he wanted to take his time before he came out there in grid, so this had a little more time to get through it all.
Taking a little break or taking it easy on us. Yeah, Soup, we certainly appreciate it. These lights are about to go out, though. I can start to hear the engines start to crank up here a little bit, Soup. The blood is pumping and the adrenaline is flowing right now.
And our number 2 position driver has come out there, and that is, of course, Christian Tkach, and he is making a move. Remember, he races, of course, for Red Devil Racing, and that's one of the drivers we've been watching right now. And somebody has jumped the start. We'll see who it is. And there they go by, actually, kind of a rogue driver now out in front.
I think it was Bruno Dometer, actually.
Yeah, Dometer, actually, since he jumped the start, I guess he said, I'll just go around and pay the penalty. So he's out in front right now. It looked a little bit weird. But right now, our official race leader is Gunnar Nienhaus. Now look at this. Renault Osterkamp gets the better of Christian Tkach and falls back into third. Rounding out the top 5, it's Phil Reed.
Boy, a lot of cars here at the back, side by side, getting through turn 4. Got a couple cars off track in the dirt. Nobody collected yet, though. Everybody's still on the power and clean.
Looking back there, and it looks like Forte. We'll come back and get there. Forte got together. He got together, I think, with Howell. Is that what caused the incident there? We'll come back.
Yeah.
Car number 67. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, it was Ashley Howell. There was contact in the middle of the turn between Howell and Forte.
Not a big incident. Now, let's go. This is interesting. Gunnar Nienhaus beginning to distance themselves now. I want to see what happened to the car that jumped the start. Is he still out on the track or has he come in? I do not see him right now, so I guess he's actually come in. So it's official. Nienhaus out in front. Osterkamp, Tkach, Reed, and Kessler. Round out your top 5. In fact, look at this battle for 5th position. This is Kessler being challenged by former champion Kerry Nolden. Great battle. You can see it there in that long shot. They get it settled down right now. Nolden's still out in front. Or, I'm sorry, Kessler's still out in front. Here comes Nolden again, though. Trying to work around the outside of 130R. That's not going to work, and that opens it up for the Milkman, who's now side by side as they start coming into the Casio Triangle. The Milkman decides not to try to deliver the milk right there, and he falls back to 7th. Nolden remains in 6th. Morris, Holstein, and Tierney round out your top 10. Sean, look at that battle for 10th right now. That's Tierney being challenged on the outside by Manuel Hoyer.
Yeah, great battle going on between those two here on screen. Look at them all coming down the front straight, Sue, scrambling for position.
Well, all things considered, Sean, as a complete lap number 1, I would say that's a success. We had a little bit of contact back in the back, but pretty much we're bringing everybody around.
Boy, Yannick Nienhaus really had trouble out of turn 2, Soup. He was all the way off in the dirt. Let 5 cars get by in the process. That's going to drop him all the way back to 22nd.
Drivers who are off, Lee Robinson, Lawrence Suddenstrike to right, had issues. They are in the pits right now. Not sure what happened to them. Sal Telemakia has had a problem.
Yeah, big trouble for him coming out of 7 in Dunlop there, trying to get up the hill.
Oh, he got into it with Sarah Dove, I believe. Sarah's still having trouble getting the car going straight.
Soup, actually, I think Sal Telemakia actually, no, a little bit too much curb coming up the hill in Dunlop, and it was Sarah that actually had to avoid him making an evasive move to get off track.
Good that we're able to get that. They blinked away for me at that exact moment, so I wasn't able to see it, but our director had that on the replay, we think. Now we're looking there at Gunnar Nienhaus out in front. He's opened up 1.5 second lead. Remember, he wasn't here last time from VIR. Not as costly as you would think, as this series allows for 2 drop races, so he'll just throw that one away. But it does make that drop insurance a little more thin, as he only has 1 more bad event before they start to count. You see that now. Look at the back. Our director just put it on there. There's a shot of Tkach, who's out in front of Reed as they come right at you, that Dougie Beard camera angle. Right on board with Reed right now, looking for a way around. You can see the long shadows here, Sean, as it is late afternoon. And that doesn't help with the track competition, with the track temperatures. Now, we look at this battle as we go back to what we'll call this like the radio. Now we're back. Let's see if we can get back to 7th position here. We look back as we're going to look at 7th. This is Andy Cowie. There we go, right there as we see Andy Cowie running in 7th position.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at McLeod has had an issue. We're looking at this one. He had a little bit of an off.
Yeah, he did, and hits the inside barrier. You know, we're going to catch this on the replay, and Soup did not work out well for Mr. McLeod, and a lot of cars had to get by, and a lot of front-end damage. You're going to see him hit that. He hits that inside barrier, knocks the whole front end off, eventually gets it back under power, does not take the tow, but it's going to be a long trip back for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We look at McLeod right now. Remember, he is a strong candidate. He's look at the damage on that car. No nose, the wing is beat up. It's a long time, Sean.
Geez, I'm sorry. Alexander Waldo just slides off the track. Back in spoon curve. Gets to the second part of it, left-hander to go back up the straight, and he just loses it and does it without wrecking the car, but big check up behind him.
Yeah, he was running back in 20th position. Great job from Ashley Howell to avoid it, and the French-Canadian driver Jean-Francois Godin got around him as well. In fact, Godin was able to pick up a spot as Howell had to check up. You can watch this here. Watch Howell check up, and that opens the door for the driver to get around him.
This battle coming down the front straight is incredible down at turn 1. Martinson right now in a tussle here with Harry Damon. They're side by side through the turn. Oh! That was White in the 10 got into it with Jerome Decourtel. The 13 car got together. Yeah, and it started with White spinning, unfortunately, and then Cortel could not get around him and had to go all the way through the grass. Comes back up on the track, the car starting to get into the snake. What a mess right there.
A great job of Knut Martinson, who went off into the Japanese alfalfa to avoid the issue. Great job from the Orange Viking Racing in the number 20 machine, he now races in 17th spot.
Jeroen picks up damage on that wing, Soup. That's going to be tough for him to recover from that.
Yeah, now the issue, Sean, for all these guys who are having trouble is, does this stay on the lead lap and try to minimize any damage they have here in the future? If they can finish on the lead lap, they'll get a fresh car, try to make up some of those points. As we look at De Cortel right now, being challenged by Ashley Howe. My gosh, what a great battle going on. You're not missing anything up front. All the action is back here in the back.
It does seem to be that way, though. Christian to catch, though, under heavy fire from Phil Reed here. Phil trying to catch him here on the last curve. Phil keeps it nice and clean, and now it's time to get on the power. Down the front straight. Phil going to close in here, try and put the move on him, heading down into turn 1.
Now Holstein has had a spin, and he gets collected. Gets collected by Adam Tierney. They were running well up the order. Tierney was running in 10th, so more cars. Tierney's going to bring it into the pits right now.
Yeah, that's teammates right there that got involved. That's the AOR teammates getting involved together.
We're going to go on board and look at this, Sean. He has nowhere to go.
He doesn't, but I can imagine the team principal not going to be very, very happy about his teammates getting involved together there. And again, Adam had nowhere to go. Boy, and they were working so well together until that unfolded.
So now he comes in with 31. This could be too early. I don't know if the pit window is open here. It'd be great if it was. We look at this battle now. We continue to go up front. This is our best battle for the lead, or anywhere close to the lead. And this is Christian Tkach and Phil Reed.
Soup, we may be very well at the very edge of the pit window. This may work out for them.
Now remember, as team championships go, this is Tkach racing for Red Devil Racing. We talked about them. That team is making a great run up. He has Morris as his teammate. And then, when you talk teams, you have Aperture back there for Phil Reed. And of course, Reed on that point-leading team right now. Best battle for anything close to the front. This battle for third. Our leader, Gunnar Nienhaus, out in front, but only Sean by a second and a half. Nienhaus hasn't been able to run away with like we've seen in the past.
Yeah, no.
And here comes the pass for third.
Oh, there it is.
Phil, you know better than that. Wait till we have you on camera, buddy.
Got a pass back here for 11th, actually. Harry Damon getting overtaken by Urka Lindstrom. Urka trying to get another spot. He's already up 11, trying to complete this pass in 180R. I said 180, 130R. What was I thinking?
Yeah. If you go 180, you got problems.
Yeah.
Look at they're too wide down the main straight now.
Boy, and
maybe
what a
4
move
wide
there
up.
by Chambers.
Now we come back, having a few technical issues there with our director right now. There we have look at that battle continues. That is a battle for 12th, 13th, 14th, I think.
Little Stevie Chambers right in the middle of it too, man. He is right there behind Harry Damon and Jean-Francois Godin, right in his mirror. Stevie driving it hard, trying to keep it on the track.
Yeah, what you're looking at there is Damon leading the pack in 12th. Damon, Chambers, Godin, Nienhaus, well, that's Yannick Nienhaus, little brother, and then Knut Martinsen, the Orange Viking, back there in the very back. Godin is our hard charger right now, up 14 spots. Whoa, no! But we have it off, and it looked like, was it Knut? The Orange Viking, Kmart, the caboose of this 5-car train. We look at it right now, and you can see he just got it off in the grass, Sean, and the car won't come back when you got your left side on the grass like that.
Yeah, no. He picks up all that trash on the tires. It's tough to get that car back going again up to full speed. Big loss for him there.
Not sure how much damage, other than the loss of time and the damage to his ego, as he rides now in 18th position. Again, his goal will change now to just finish on the lead lap. Let's leave the back markers. Let's go up front, check in on this. Remember, we saw Aperture's Phil Reed get around Red Devil's Christian Tkach. Well, he hasn't been able to run far away from him, but right now, here comes Kerry Nolden, that's Reed's partner, running in 5th. A good day for Aperture Racing, our team points leaders.
Soup, you remember that great battle we were watching back there for 12th back to 15th? Well, it
Yes.
spread out just a bit. Actually, Jean-Francois Godin was able to pull off the pass on little Stevie Chambers, and now he is up 15 spots. Trouble with Ada Cowie on track.
Cowie, the car just got, my goodness, the car just gets loose. It comes
Oh,
around, and
boy.
the milkman just noses it in.
Yeah, and that's a tough spot right there. You know, you're coming out of turn 2 and getting that power down, setting up for the snake, and a little bit too much power. Soup, we're going to see here on the replay, just goes into a slide and can't recover from it.
So the milk has curdled, and he's going to have to find his way back to the pit lane, and probably will not be starting on the lead lap.
Soup, sometimes you make it so hard to recover from a comment. The milk is curdled, really?
Oh, and you missed the next part, made his way. See, Kurt's way. It's funnier if you can actually read it.
He went there. He went there.
Let's run down your top 10 here. We'll take a breath here while everyone gets done moaning there. Gunnar Nierenhaus out in front. Not able to pull far away, but he's comfortable. Osterkamp running in second. Then you got the Aperture driver, Phil Reed. Christian Tkach in fourth. Kerry Nolden in fifth. But look at this. Nolden, we'll stay on this a minute. It looks like Nolden's has ideas to get right behind his teammate. In fact, here he comes, Sean.
We're actually going to take a replay of it here real quick.
That was done going into the Casio triangle. Just decides I'm coming in, outbreaks him and gets it done, huh?
Yeah, he does. Power, but yeah, they're still going at it here, Soup, live on screen.
Yeah, and what happened was Tkach followed him out the triangle, then got the toe down the main straight, tried to do it on the outside of one. Nolden said, no way.
Yeah, I think he'd
running in fourth. Go ahead.
I think he'd been working on that for a while, and you know what? He took that opportunity, took it by the neck and strangled it. Man, that was a good move by Nolden, and you know what? It's led to some incredible momentum because now he's starting to pull away from Christian.
Yeah, let's assume that's over. We'll see if we can finish out running down maybe your top 15. Kessler, and that's, of course, Patrick, running in sixth all by himself, about a second ahead of Daniel Morris. Now, Morris is the teammate. He's the Red Devil driver teamed up with Christian Tkach. So a lot of not only individual scores to be made here, but team scores as well. Running back in eighth, Manuel Hoyer. Hoyer has a couple wins. They've all come in the sprint races, though. He hasn't won a feature race yet. Running back in ninth, Evan, really tough Emery. And then a battle for 10th. Sean, why don't we spend a little bit of time looking on this one? This is Lindstrom, Godin, and Harry Damon back here.
Yeah, Damon, all these drivers, all three of them up several spots. Urca, though, up 12. Jean-Francois Godin, he is up 17. Harry Damon up 3 spots.
Yeah.
And they're still climbing this ladder. But Urca right now getting the better of those two. Really smooth. And you know what? Again, it just doesn't seem like Urca's close enough. I'm sorry, not Urca, but Jean-Francois is close enough to actually get in a tow and maybe actually make a legitimate charge at him.
Now, Scott Newton is out there currently running in 21st. He's the leader of all the drivers who have pitted. I'm not really sure if he's actually in the picture here as far as being competitive, but we have to mark him. And I cursed Newton as he goes onto the grass.
Hey, Soup, I might have spoke too soon. Urca under attack now from the move has been pulled off. Jean-Francois Godin pulled it off in 1. Now he's going through 2. Down into the snake, and yes, he has passed.
Yep.
Pulled that pass off on Urca Lindstrom, and that, sir, is 10th place. 18 spots, and again, still climbing.
Now he's got 3.5 seconds to get to Emery. That's Evan Emery. I always hope that Evan Emery and Odd Jonas Villman would race together so I could have Evan and Odd next to each other.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do want to say thanks to Evan for working with me a little bit yesterday and sharing a set with me to work with here.
Really?
At Suzuka, and I appreciate that. It's always nice to help the commentator out a bit.
in now at 11th place. There's Lindstrom.
Soup, I didn't expect this, but we've really we've got him spread out, really spread out here. You sometimes you talk about it being tough to find battles. There's some. Let's just say there are a lot of cars that are close to each other, but not close enough to really consider it a hard fought battle right now. With what I estimate is about 12 laps remaining, I'm sure when we get a little bit closer, maybe that last 10 to 12 minutes, we'll maybe see some people try and make an overtake here and get maybe one position better, but still a lot of cars on the lead lap.
Well, let's jump back, put the camera on 25th position, because I'm going to show you the winner of the upcoming sprint race. I'm going to make the call right now, and that's Ty McLeod. He's way too fast to be the last car on the lead lap. He's had some issues. He's been in the pits now. The question is, as I look at how long was this the driver that, Sean, we were worried that wasn't going to be able to go the distance? Ty's been out there for 5 laps now. So if he's able to stretch this, he could be on the pole. He's really fast. I'm talking being on the pole for the sprint race. So that's a little extra drama, a little side story to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Ty's turning some great laps right now, Soup. I mean, they're 156s, low 156s. That puts them right on par with the top 10 in the field, maybe just a quarter to a half second off. But no, again, still turning very, very competitive laps. He's still in this thing.
And then one spot up, a driver that we've been watching all season that we're very impressed with, Jeroen de Cortel, running in 22nd. If he's able to bring this in somewhere near the back of the lead lap, he's going to be up front as well. 25 cars right now on the lead lap. Sean, we talked about how many were going to finish on the lead lap. Attrition has been brutal out here as drivers, Andy Cowie, Adam Tierney, drivers we all thought would be Philippe Andre having trouble.
Well, Soup, and it's been 2 of the spots that I brought up early in this race, and that is coming out of turn 2, setting yourself up for the snake, and then at the end of the snake in a Dunlop coming up the hill. That's where we've seen a couple of really, really bad shunts today, and those drivers are out of the race. We've got several drivers behind the wall, but the fact that we still have 24 on the lead lap right now is that's good news, because guess what, Soup? We're just about to the halfway point here.
Luke White, Lawrence DeReich, and Lee Robinson. Of course, Sean, we have a spotter in with us here right now, and the one time we have a spotter helping us out, the drivers decide to have a pretty clean race.
I promised there would be action. Don't worry. We still have a sprint race to get through, so our...
Okay, here comes
Lindstrom coming in.
Here comes Lindstrom fitting. So that's really the first driver to pit from anywhere up front. Lindstrom was running about 12th, I think, when decided to come in. We're going to look at 16th position here. This is very unusual for a AOR event here. Looking for a battle. This is Silvio Hurt, just ahead of Bruno Dometer.
Yeah, Dometer was the one who jumped the start, Soup, and well,
that's right.
Appears to have recovered. Now, we don't know what kind of penalty will be assessed, but right now he's recovered to 17th spot, so he started 18th actually on the grid. I don't know what happened on the start, but we'll get that figured out later. But he's giving Silvio Hurt a mirror full right now.
Yeah, they were about 8 positions off as far as qualifying time goes. Dometer over a second faster in the qualifying time, so I'm sure he would like to get around here.
Yeah, Dometer.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say Dometer is really searching for a faster line right now. You see him moving across, back and forth across the track. He's really just looking for a way to slip around Silvio.
We can stay on this battle. I will just report verbally here that Lindstrom is out of the pits ahead of Stevie Chambers in his 14th position right now. He's the leader of all the cars who have pitted. All the cars 13th up have yet to come in. These guys have, though. Well, no, Hurt has not come in, believe it or not.
Ooh, and Dometer gets right around them, right up next to each other. They are wheel to wheel here, Soup. Very, very fast turn.
Oh!
Silvio's going to spin it. Silvio is going to spin it. That's a real dangerous spot to be. I think he's got room to get out of there now. He does.
My mom would say, you guys are having fun, but somebody's going to end up crying. And sure enough, that's what happened. Now, I followed up on this. Silvio Hurt have yet to make his stop. And this is a little bit misleading. Dometer is credited with the stop, but I don't think it's going to count. I think that was his stop-and-go penalty for jumping. So I think both of these guys are probably going to be out of the mix for lead lap cars. Maybe, we'll see. They both have a stop to make, but so do our leaders.
Yeah, Dometer, in fact, did serve a stop-and-go penalty, Soup, and so that does have him off cycle with everybody right now. He's not going to be able to make it on the current fuel load he has, but he could be looking at a splash and go here at some point, and but still having to make that trip down the pit lane going to cost you a lot of time.
Still, we have to watch out. We'll emphasize this again. The drivers that have the long run is Ty McLeod, last car on the lead lap, and we talked about De Cortel. He also has a long stint to go. He pitted one lap after Cortel, so it's a question of whether those guys can get all the way on the fuel they have. Why does it matter? Because if they can finish on the lead lap, they're on the pole for the sprint race, and that changes the complexion of that race big time. That's one of the beauties of the AOR. So many storylines to cover, Sean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of stories to cover. Phil Reed having a great run. Kerry Nolden, though, listen, Kerry has been very, very persistent. Their lap times have pretty much mirrored each other. In fact, Kerry just turned the fastest lap of the race, Soup. The gains have been marginal at best, but he is gaining nonetheless.
Well, I got a couple good points from Kerry Nolan. First of all, you're turning fast laps, that's good, and the driver in front of you is your teammate, so I don't think you're going to get a lot of fight from Phil Reed, as two former champions teamed up there for Aperture Racing. We've talked about them a lot. That team is on the top of the chart. They've been working to get up there.
Almost doesn't seem fair that they're on the same team together, Soup.
There's some good combinations though to get around.
Yeah, I know we've talked about Gunnar Niehaus. Of course, he's still our leader, but Rene Osterkamp not come up much, Soup. He looks great today.
Yeah, he is, and he missed the early parts of the season. He's really been coming on, running in second. Just to follow up on Gunnar Niehaus, that team for Carbon Racing, I know I've been spending a lot of time talking team battles here today. His partner is his brother, and he would just like to have him chip in a few points right now. Yannick running right now in 20th position. There we see Yannick all by himself. In fact, he's got the driver of Cortel behind him. Oh, Yannick actually going to... Well, that's Lawrence Wright coming in. Sorry, I apologize. I kicked over the wrong spot. So Yannick running in 20th, about 3 seconds ahead of Cortel. We'd sure love to talk to Jeroen de Cortel, first of all, just to learn about him. Come on in, talk to us. And then to actually find out if we want to go with de Cortel as your last name or just Cortel.
Soup, just checking in with our friend Ty McLeod. He's still holding down that final spot here. And, leader's closing in. Leader just now getting into the snake. And Ty making his way out of it as I speak. Down into Dunlop he goes. Ooh, well, this is going to be close.
Well, there's a couple things we could look at here. We follow up on McLeod. If he does need to make another pit stop, it won't be quite as long as the leader, so they both need one more stop to make.
Right.
I just don't know even if that is the case. I'm just not sure McLeod has the pace to stay ahead of Gunnar.
It's going to be tough. It's really going to be tough. Well, there we go. Harry Damon coming in the pit there, Soup. That's Evan Emre also in the top 13. Does look like the dominoes are starting to fall up there. The window is open and the action is getting hot.
And I think these guys are going to be able to get in and out before Lindstrom comes around. He's the leader of all the cars who have pitted. Lindstrom right now just working his way through, trying to find out where Eric is there where Eric is on the track. 13th, there we found him working through I guess he's, oh my goodness, he's just working through the S's. He was so far behind, that's what confused me. No way he's going to come out there.
Still waiting for some of these leaders to bring it in, Soup, but no takers yet.
Emre is indeed out in front of Engstrom, out by about 7 seconds. So rubber tire Emre out in front by about 7 seconds, and the leader of all the cars who have pitted. Here comes the leader, Sean.
Follow the leader. Renee Osterkamp, Phil Reed.
Gunner
Kerry Nolan.
finally bites the bullet and comes in.
Nolan and to catch, keep it out, Sue.
Interesting. Nolden and Reed kind of doing what the kind of a Penske strategy there, with the one guy coming in, one guy staying out.
Gunnar Niehaus out of the pit, Soup, screaming across the line. He lit him up coming up. Going to get a nice jump on Osterkamp. You see Osterkamp there in the mirror as they were coming out.
Yep.
Turn 1 complete, on to turn 2 and into the snake.
They come out, I believe, in 4th. They are Nolden to catch and Daniel Morris yet to come in. Now we look at the times there. Look at the long stop that Phil Reed had. I'm looking at the time in the box. 5 seconds for Niehaus, double that for Reed.
Yeah, not sure what happened there with Reed, unless maybe he missed his box on entry. I don't think he did. Something else going on there, Sue.
Now, maybe there was some damage. The good news is I don't think it's going to cost him any positions per se, as he's running 3rd of all the cars who've pitted. But, of course, we don't know what Nolden and Tkach and Morris have to say about this. Yeah, we think he's probably going to lose it to Nolden.
Well, that's just about everybody, Soup. A couple of people are about 5 drivers still holding out. I see Ashley Howell, Knut Martinson, and then, of course, your top 3, Daniel Morris, Tkach, and Nolden, all still needing to make those critical pit stops here.
Martinson running about 35 seconds behind the leader right now with lap times of just under 2 minutes. He should be able to get in and out without losing a lap.
Okay,
here comes the big boys. Yep. Somebody has an egg under their foot as well. Maybe Morris hasn't got there yet. We'll see. Morris yet to come in, but Nolden and Tkach are in. Niehaus just working his way through the final corner right now, coming down the main straight. Nolden is still just getting into his pits. There goes Niehaus.
Bye-bye.
Now next out is Ostertank goes by. Tkach is out in front of Nolden. Nolden's got to hustle because here comes Phil Reed with a full head of steam. Nolden's going to come out in 4th. Reed drops back to 5th, but is it coming?
Oh, boy. Tkach best him by about 5 seconds in the pit, Soup.
Yeah, again,
Big
Nolden.
difference.
Now, look, those are 2 teammates. That's Nolden and Reed. Both have pit stops of almost 10 seconds in the box. So, Amateur Racing has to pay their pit crew a little bit more.
I'm thinking either that or the buffet was just a little bit too much this morning for those guys.
Okay.
Just a thought.
All right. Well, now they run in 4th and 5th behind Tkach, Osterkamp, and Niehaus.
Yeah, making their way out of the hairpin there. Love that spot. Through 200R. You're flat out here, Soup, all the way down into 13. Spoon curve. And then this left-hander, really tricky right here coming up for these guys. It's a balance of power and grip.
Right on board. Reed looking up ahead at his teammate, Kerry Nolden. 2 former champions.
You're pegging the car in 7th gear right here, Soup. It is quite a ride.
As we have a little bit of, again, losing the feed. We'll come back and get that in a minute. Now we're back.
Soup, we got gremlins today. We got gremlins on board with us on this flight. What's going on?
Well, apparently you're good in New York. I'm good in California, but in the middle of the United States, in the Texas area, our director having a little issue there. Let's go quickly look at Daniel Morris running in 8th place. I think this is a little bit of fool's gold here. As my timing and scoring shows, Daniel has not pitted yet, and he continues to make me look like a...
Oh, no, he did.
Fool's
He
gold.
did, Soup.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He did just pit. Yes, he just completed his first lap. His outlap is done, yes. And he settled into 8th.
That makes more sense, because I thought he'd be around 8th. So there you have eighth. Let's run down the second pack here, the second 5. 6th position, Patrick Kessler, about 2 seconds ahead of Manuel Hoyer, who's got about 5 seconds on the driver that Sean just helped me out with. That's Daniel Morris. Now remember, Morris is the teammate up to catch for Red Devil Racing. That's the team we've got our eye on. They're making a charge. Jean-Francois Godin running in 9th. And my goodness, Sean, how about 19 spots, 28 to 9th? Nice run from him.
Yeah. I mean, it's been consistent all day. Oh, Bruno Dometer is coming in now. We suspected it would be a late stop. It is for Bruno. Probably going to be a very short stop, Soup, and he is actually down and away and made his way out now. Dometer looks like he's going to cycle back out in 19th.
And it looks like everybody has made their stop. The last car now on the lead lap, running in 23rd, is Silvio Hurt. We saw him earlier. We documented what he was up to.
No, Soup. It's still McLeod. McLeod just hasn't made his way around to the line yet.
There it is. There. Thank you.
No problem, buddy. It is still McLeod, but man, I got to tell you, the gap, it's about 1 minute and 17 seconds. He's closing in.
Yeah, so now that they've made it all the way around.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's 1 minute and 49 seconds. My bad, looking at the wrong column there.
Yeah, so he's only, it's about 6 seconds ahead of what the qualifying time would be, assuming 55, 56 second laps. Let's go to P4.
Phil Reed, Kerry Nolden. Good battle here.
Now remember, Nolden has already got around Reed once, so Reed trying to pay back his teammate there.
Yeah, I don't think these two are going to try and collect each other.
No.
I think they're going to be maybe a little bit more careful than we might have seen earlier here by Quantum Motorsports doing their little imitation of Ferrari back in 2016.
Reed was a little faster in qualifying than Nolden was. And remember, any pass that made now is just going to be punished when they invert the grid. So Reed could actually be saying, yeah, I'm faster than you, but I don't need to force it. Let me just regrid now. I'll be ahead of you when we do the sprint race. "23 cars on the lead lap, the last one being Ty McLeod. And the question there is, does he have enough fuel to get to the end? That is big news because he's fast and he will be your pole sitter if he can bring it home on the lead lap. 5 minutes of racing to go, Sean.
5 minutes, last call. Here we go. If you're going to make a move, you better make it quick. There are still few positions out there to be decided, Soup. I don't know if Harry Damon is done fighting with Knut Martinson yet, but they are real close. Erka Lindstrom trying to hang on to a 11th spot. All these drivers up several spots in the race. And again, I don't think anything's decided here yet, but we've got just under 4 laps to go.
Yeah, we look at that battle. We're looking at this battle for 4th position, and this is becoming now, I'm getting a little bit annoyed here. They better make this pass. Thank you. My dad would say you got to fish or cut bait. And trying to make it work on the outside. Now doing a little dipsy-do, a little hucklebuck, a little T-Berry shuffle. Was Nolden, but he can't get it done. Or I'm sorry, Phil Reed. Nolden's still out in front in 4th.
I knew what you meant, Soup. Sorry.
The over-under. I had a lot of euphemisms for the over-under move.
Here comes Phil Reed. He's going to make the move here. Going to try and do it on the outside.
I think you're on the replay
And I
there,
wasn't
Sean.
live. I wasn't live.
$5. That's $5 in the jar.
Yeah, I'll make my donation here when the checkers fly. I may not be done.
Let me tell you right now, you and I are sending the GSRC crew out to a nice, great end-of-year dinner. We're paying for half the dinner ourselves.
That's okay. We'll suck it up soon.
That's another free beer for Joe Peak at the meeting. Looking there at Nolden and Reed. Sean, is there anywhere else, any other battle, anybody we haven't given some love to? Here's a close one. Newton and Chambers, maybe. These are two of our favorite drivers. Two great interviews, huh? Running back in 14th position.
Yeah.
Both these guys have had their problems.
Hey. Oh, yeah, no,
Oh,
we got to go back
here
to
we
this
go.
one. Yeah, Nolan and Reed at it again. They're going to try and make it exciting for us, Soup, one way or the other.
They're just annoying me because I do give Phil credit here. All right, here they come. Nolan's going to protect the inside line. Nolan says, turn on the reggae music, Phil, because you're going to pass me. You're going to have to do it high. They go Cialis bathtubs into the first corner. They go in at 10:55. They come out at noon. Continue to be side by side. Now it's Reed on the inside. Nolan able to fight him off one more time. Just over 2 minutes of racing left.
Yeah, the struggle here is real between these two. I don't know. I think it's probably a little bit more of fun. I really don't think either one of these two want to hurt position here or cost themselves any points.
Oh, there's a spin! What you talking about, Willis? Look at the recovery, though, from Kerry Nolden.
Great recovery by Nolan. He's going to survive that, give way to his teammate Phil Reed, but man, I need to learn to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Let's go on board here.
That was being pressured into the... Look at this. We ride on board with Reed. Then the car gets loose in front of him. What was strange about that, Sean, is it took the counterclockwise spin.
Yeah.
Usually you see that spin the other direction you come out. That one, the car just settled, pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, that it started to spin and then boom, it spun back on you. And man, wow, that was breathtaking. A close moment for Kerry Nolden. But again, the recovery, the more important part of that whole spin, he did it very well, and now he's back on the attack to Phil Reed. But Soup, I think when they get to the starter stand here, we're going to have the white flag.
Yeah, that one is done. So let's go ahead and recap. Ty McLeod still on the lead lap. He is up by... I don't think he's going to be caught. It's just a matter of whether he has enough fuel to get there.
Yeah, he was just a splash and go for Ty, but Soup, I think he's probably got it measured. I think he'll be okay, but he definitely did a great job of driving that car.
You're right,
Go
Sean.
ahead.
I missed that. He had to come in. He did come in for another stop. He took 2 stops. Now we're looking here at Newton. Oh my goodness, here he is. Newton. This is on the inside Martinson Kmart as they work through the Casio Triangle. These guys will be shown the right flag lap right now. Now are those teammates back? No, that's Chambers back there. They're similarly colored cars. They're not really teammates. Martinson, there we go. Force Fissy and Kmart for AOR. They are side by side right now. Give each other a little bit of room here, guys. He's trying to do it on the top side. Chambers gets it done. Kmart does not give it up yet, but finally, let's move Chambers up to 14th, right behind Scott Newton. Our leader working his way into the final scoop from the spoon. Down the backstretch. Gunnar Nienhaus, wire to wire. Might have missed leading a lap during the pit cycle. Virtually wire to wire, though, Sean, as he only has 130R to negotiate, and then the right, left, right Casio triangle come around that final corner. From the Origami Pretzel, Suzuka, round number 7, the feature race here on the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship goes to Gunnar Nienhaus. A very quiet second place for Rene Osterkamp. Red Devils Christian Tkach gets 3rd. Aperture comes home in 4th and 5th in the form of Phil Reed and Kerry Nolden. Patrick Kessler gets 6th. Manuel Hauer, 7th position. Let's go to Daniel Morris in a battle right now. This is Godin trying to get there. I think the Red Devil racer is going to get the best of it, and Morris is going to come across in 8th. Godin gets 9th.
Boy, what a run by Godin. 19 spots he picks up Soup, finishing 9th place.
Running at your top 10, Evan Emery.
I'd say he's going to be Jean-Francois is going to be one of my early favorites here in this sprint race.
Going through the hairpin right now is Ty McLeod. He came in for that splash and go, so I feel pretty confident that he's going to be able to bring that car home. We expect him to be starting inside of Silvio Hurt on the front row. Hurt running in 22nd position. Jeroen Cortel and Ashley Howell going to be in row 2. What we'll do right now is, as we watch these drivers come all the way in, what we'll do is go to break. But at this point, we'll go to break, but don't go far away, because we'll be returning during the break to run down the entire running order here for the feature race, and then we'll also see if we can talk to some drivers as well. So don't go far, no clicking. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, round number 7 from Suzuka. This was the first half of our doubleheader, the 40-minute feature race, and we saw our points leader stretch that lead a little bit. Gunnar Nienhaus, after missing last time out of Virginia, comes back to go wire to wire in the feature, picking up the win. Really quiet race from Rene Oosterkamp in second. Christian DeCatch was up and down the standings a little bit. He's going to get that final podium spot. Phil Reed able to get around his partner, Kerry Nolan, as he had a spin there. And near the end of the race, Reed takes 4th. The other Aperture driver, Kerry Nolan, gets 5th. Patrick Kessler and Manuel Hoyerger 6th and 7th. Daniel Morris in 8th. Number 9 goes to France, Jean-Francois Godin. And rounding out your top 10, Evan Really Tough Emery.
Okay, then we'll go to 11th. It's going to be Erka Lindstrom today with a great drive. Comes up 11 spots. He'll finish 11th. Harry Damon up a few spots himself in 12th. Scott Newton going to be 13th. Knut Martinson 14th, right where he started. 15th going to go to Alexander Waldo. 16th, Yannick Nienhaus. Sarah Dove 17th. 18th going to be Ashley Howell. Little Stevie Chambers 19th, and 20th going to go to Jeroen de Cortel.
Hidden Blackjack, Bruno Dometer going to start on the inside of row 2 in the sprint race. Silvio Hurt in the double duck spot outside of row 1. And then on the pole, and my prediction for the winning of the sprint race event is going to be Ty McLeod. He's very fast, and put him under the pole in front of all those slower drivers. He's going to be tough to beat. Now we get to the drivers that had some trouble in the double dozen position. Christoph Holstein, 11 laps down. Alicio Tellez behind him. The Milkman had some issues in 26th. Andy Cowie, Adam Tierney back there in 27th. 28th, 29th, and 30th go to Alain Felipe Andre, Vittorio Santellamacchia, and Mark Forte. Then some guys who really struggled. Luke White, Lawrence Suddenstrike to right, and Lee Robinson round out the field. Robinson 20 laps down. Okay, Sean, is there anyone maybe we should bring, do you think we should bring them both in at the same time? Let's try this.
Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll bring Phil Reed and Kerry Nolden in, Sue.
There we go. Okay, boys, you put on quite a show. Let's jump right to the last little spin that we'll start with. Let's go ahead and talk to Kerry. Nice little loop there on the end. You lost only one spot. That was exciting.
Well, you got to be inventive, haven't you, when you try and get a higher grid spot in the sprint race? You got to make it look authentic. So, yeah, that was good, wasn't it, Phil? Good avoidance by him, and yeah, I knew Degner would catch me out at one point, and yeah, it just happened to be right at the end, just so I couldn't get any time to recover back. So yeah, but that was fun. That was a good race. I'm glad to survive that.
Phil, you made a run on him a couple times. You tried to do it on the outside through one. That wasn't going to work.
Oh, well, again, got to make it look authentic. Got to look like you're trying, but not maybe too hard. Bring yourself back on the grid. But yeah, no, that I knew it wasn't going to work, but that was one for the cameras. I was thinking about you guys going for that one.
Well, let me ask you this: something you guys got to pay the Aperture pit crew a little bit more. You guys were smoked unless did you take tires or something that we don't know about? You were about 5 seconds slower than everybody else, both you guys.
Phil, did you find out how long? What your front wing change was? Was it a front wing change? Do you actually find out?
Yeah, front wing. Yeah, we both. Yeah, well, that's what it was. Both had a front wing change. Unfortunately, I think I must have damaged mine right before, literally the lap before coming in, which is annoying. Don't know we have no idea when Kerry did his.
No, I didn't actually look back. I actually forgot to look back at that. But yeah, it was a front wing change, and same as what happened at VIR last week. So yeah, that kind of cost us a chance of a better result, really, which is a shame.
Go ahead, Sean.
All right, guys, you need less of those front wing changes and more podium finishes, okay? But hey, I have a question. I have a technical question about the track. What gear in Degner?
Which one?
Yeah.
In turn 9, the right-hander, Degner.
So for the first part, it's 5th normally. Well, in these conditions, it's 5th, and I do 3rd in the second part, so the kind of cambered corner going underneath the bridge, because you can't get on that outside curb, so you've kind of got to slow it right down. So 3rd in that corner for me.
Okay, all right. Then I need to get better because
I'm with you.
I'm not doing that right. Great race, guys. Really, really was a lot of excitement there on that last lap.
Yeah, that was fun. Should we try and do that again for the sprint? Do you reckon?
Well, we're next to each other, so there's a good chance that it can happen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll give it our best.
Woo.
All right, boys. Just get through the first early laps there, and then make your positions up in the final 20 minutes. Good luck to you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
There you had the Aperture Racing boys. They're point leaders right now, bringing them both together. It's a lot of good team spirit between those guys.
Well, Soup, do we want to talk? We want to talk to Urka Lindstrom, maybe?
Sure.
Let's go to 11th.
All right. That's my bad. I dumped Urka in here, and I didn't notice you weren't in the ready for interview channel. Urka, again, apologies to you, but listen, great run. 11 spots put you up to 11th place in this race. It was a tough one out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, thanks, man. It was pretty okay. Starting position wasn't so good, so I just have to make decent laps through the first. There was a chaos in the first laps in first 2 or 3 laps was very hard, but after that it was solid one. And after pit stop, I got drive alone there, so it was good.
Well, you're not going to be alone here in the sprint race. Looks like you're going to be right about in the middle. You like your chances to get all the way to the front, make up another 11 spots?
I don't think so, but I hope that top 10 would be nice for the sprint race, I think. And I hope my teammate Bruno will get some better result now, because it seems like when he had good race, I had bad. So now it was other way.
It's time to turn it around. Okay. Well, hey, listen, best of luck to you here in the sprint race. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to you again, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, man. And have a good weekend, guys.
All right. That is Erka Lindstrom. You have a great weekend, too. And, Soup, we may have time for another interview here, possibly.
Let's bring in Scott Newton here, who had some issues. Scott, not the best result, but I guess you made the best out of it.
Yeah. To be honest, the car felt like a bit of a boat in practice and qualifying, and so I had to make a few changes to the setup, and just time management was the issue on my part. So I had to start from the pit lane, and just trying to make my way through the traffic, starting 30th, and picked up a slight bit of damage. Cars in front of me just slightly checking up a little bit earlier than I thought they would, but managed to salvage P13 from where I was, so pretty happy.
So were you starting your setup from your very first time in practice? That had been your first run on the track all week?
No, usually I test on Sunday, my time. So usually I have a pre-built set at the start of the week, but
got it.
With the ever-changing weather conditions and when the practice session goes up for the AOR guys, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning for me. So not very ideal on a Friday morning.
Yeah, I understand, because it is a fixed weather setup, but by the time it's announced, it gives you not a lot of time to get it done. So you did the changes during the practice?
Between quali and race.
Oh my goodness!
So, yeah. So it.
So your first laps on the new setup were in the race.
Oh yeah, it was only slight changes really, just to help the front of the car turn in, but the changes were between quali and the race, but hopefully I should have a strong sprint race. Still got 25 minutes of racing worth to go, and see what I can salvage from there.
All right, well, good luck to you there. Keep it, just survive the early laps, and then start picking up your positions after that.
Yeah, definitely. The weather's a lot more forgiving this week compared to last week, as there wasn't as many cars dying in the overcast conditions. Thankfully, this week's clear, so it should be some good racing ahead.
All right, go get him. We'll be watching you. Scott Newton, good luck, buddy.
Cheers.
Okay, Sean, I think that's going to do it for us now. We got to step away for just a second. Don't go far. What we're going to do is get all our ducks in a row here, and then we'll come back and give you, my goodness, go to the kitchen, get everything set up for the 25 minutes that are coming up, because you're not going to have any time to step away once we go green for the 25-minute sprint race. That's going to be here in just a few minutes. Global Sim Racing Channel, back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Challenge, round number 7 from Suzuka. We have the 40-minute feature race in the books, and now we are back for the 25-minute sprint race where they invert all the lead lap cars. So that's going to put on the pole, and I don't have my notes with it. Was it Adam Tierney? No, it was McLeod. It was McLeod that's on the pole.
Yes.
And
Yeah, Ty McLeod doing everything he needed to hang on to that position, Soup. Poor Ty was behind the 8 ball that whole race, but one thing he managed to do was just really, really hang on to that spot. It got close there towards the end, but he really was running some great laps. Once he got the ship righted, he was very consistent.
Now, we talked about the points champion so much, and remember, we talked about how well Aperture Racing is doing right here. They're in that battle with Vector SimSport, but it's going to be a very, very poor performance this week for Vector Team Sport, as both Christian Koch and Michael Mittner, neither one of those drivers are here. And in the team championship, it does not take into account drop races. It is raw numbers, so that's going to be bad news for Vector. Good news for the other guys who are chasing them, mainly the team that I've got my eye on, and that is that Red Devil team, Sean. And they've got, we talk about Christian Tkach, and also Daniel Morris is on that team as well. Look for them to be moving up the standings again.
I'd say that's a pretty good team to watch. Yeah, Soup, I'm with you on that. The Red Devils could, they could find their way all the way to the front. Tkach is that's a pretty good teammate to have there, Soup.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, he finished third. He's going to be starting at the back. What we're really looking for here now, if you're new to the series, you can probably figure it out for yourself. When they invert the grid, it's all about avoiding the big ones. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Let's cross our fingers, Sean, and hope that if there are any incidents, they are minor.
We keep it to a minimum. Yeah. In fact, last week's sprint race was an example of a really good sprint race, Soup. I mean, it got off to a great start and held form throughout.
And if you're new to sim racing, I mean, you can just picture it that when you put the slower guys in front, a usual race has the faster guys in front, and the field expands. It stretches out like an old pair of elastic on your underwear there. It just gets looser and looser and looser. Pretty soon it's real comfortable. That is the worst analogy I've ever used. Let's just forget that one. Let's go. See, that's what happens when those come up on spur of the moment. This one, though, is totally different. The faster guys in the back, the slower guys up front, everything compresses, everything gets tighter and more intense. So you got to be patient, but a lot of the drivers say that the biggest problem, the biggest adversary they have is the 25 minutes.
Yeah, and it's just all out, Soup. Everybody, just give everything you got. Just a moment ago, we were on Adam Tierney. There's a driver that needs to recover well in this sprint race after his team found trouble. Ashley Howell had a great run. Would certainly be a driver to watch in this. But Soup, I think, as we saw last week, the cream does eventually rise to the top. And, I don't think you should forget about Gunnar Niehaus at all, because he could very well find himself at the top of the podium when this race is done.
Absolutely. Just a few more minutes left in practice. There is no qualifying. And hey! Oh, my wife just threw something at me. I think she's watching the YouTube feed. I think the underwear analogy just got to her right now. Delayed reaction. Okay. Little inside baseball going on there for you guys. Qualifying. There is no qualifying. Practice just about done. A few more seconds here to go. Well, they have 40 minutes of experience under the belt here, Sean, so at least they know what's in store from the weather doesn't change. And let's go ahead and run down your starting grid as soon as it comes up. And there it is. Okay, as expected, Ty McLeod, Sylvia Hurt make up the front row. Row 2, Bruno Dometer and Jeroen de Quartel. Quartel could also be good. Keep an eye on him from the fourth spot. Ashley Howell and Sarah Dove in row 3. Row 4, Yannick Niehaus, Alexander Valdo, 9th and 10th position. The Flying V, Stevie Chambers, and Kmart Knut Martinson. Sean?
All right, and then we'll go to 11th. It's going to be Scott Newton there in row 6 with Harry Damon. Row 7 going to be Erka Lindstrom and Evan Imre. Row 8, Jean-Francois Godin and Daniel Morris. Row 9, Manuel Hoyer and Patrick Kessler. Row 10 going to be Kerry Nolden and Phil Reed back at it again.
Then we get down into the blackjack position there. It is, here we go. These are the guys to keep an eye on. Christian Tkach, Renee Osterkamp, and Gunnar Nienhaus. They're your podium finishers from the feature race. Christoph Holstein, Andy Cowie, Adam Tierney, Mark Forte, Luke White, Lawrence Suddenstrike to Reich, making up the back of the pack. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn, and look at the run that these guys are getting down into the first corner. There's some great fighting going on from back behind, but out in front right now, it's Ty McLeod. Hurt. There's some incidents going on from behind. We'll go ahead. Dominator gets a little bit loose. He's going to lose that position up front as they go side by side. This is Dominator in battle with Hurt. Dominator's going to come out the best of that one. No, Hurt has it back. Watching the whole thing. Back there is Cortell running in 4th position.
It was Kerry Nolden and Lee Robinson that both had trouble in turns 1 and 2. Both of them are back on track. No damage to either machine.
We'll try to get that at the probably the end of the race if we can. Now, let's review what's going up in front. Ty McLeod out in front by 1.3 seconds. Hurt holding on to second. A driver gets off. That's going wide there. That was Dominator. Dominator is loose again. He's losing more momentum, more positions as they go under the tunnel. He loses one to Howell. He loses to Chambers now on the inside as they go into the hairpin. Now Dominator in the preferred position. He gets that car going in the right direction. This is a battle for 5th. Dominator, Chambers behind him. Waldo behind that. Newton following that one. Martinson and Lindstrom. Sean, do me a favor. Take a peek. See how some of those leaders are doing. How are they doing getting through?
Well, we had a big problems back in Degner. I'm sorry. There was a big stack up in Degner. Forte was involved. Several drivers. Ty McLeod, though, off to a great run. He's up almost 3 seconds already to get this started. Sylvia Hurt trying to hold off Jeroen de Cortel. It's a very, very close battle. It's Cortel taking that from him right now. Cortel up to 2nd.
The big names in the back. Tkach is up to 16th position. And it looks like he's leading all the guys he was racing with back there. Let's go ahead and put the camera back on like 7th spot. A great battle going on. This is Howell in a battle with Newton right now. As they work through the Casio Triangle, coming around to complete. I guess this would be lap number 1. Are we just on the first lap here? Are they coming through? Yeah, this has just been. Look at this side by side as Newton side by side with Howell. Howell on the inside, Newton on the outside. Newton's going to be able to close the door. Drop back a little. That's Ball. Look at Baldo in there with Martinson now. Lindstrom involved.
Yeah, Jean-Francois Godin looking all the way down to the inside of the track, into the turn suit. He's going to let off, but they are still side by side in front of him.
We're right on board with Godin. Looking ahead from Godin, you're looking at the car immediately ahead. That's Lindstrom, Martinson, and Baldo in that long train. That is only going to get longer. Look at this. Now here comes Godin, going to try to figure out a way around Emre. Oh, sorry, that's Hauer and Emery. This is happening. And there they get together. Hauer and Emery get together. They touch again. Spinning around is Hauer. He's looking in the wrong direction. Everybody gets around him. This is right in front of everything.
Oh, boy.
Tkach has a great look. They could wave of each other.
Yeah, Phil reading that too, Soup, and Phil trying to get back and get the ship righted here. But, boy, damage for cars there.
When we can, if we can get an onboard from Tkach. As you can see, Tkach this, they are nose to nose. We're going to go on board. Watch this as Tkach can look right in the eyes of Hoyer. Oh, we're not going to be able to get it, it looks like. There you can see, though, Tkach. There, now we're on board. Look at this. Hello, how you doing? Thank you.
Boy.
So now we're back live. That means Tkach is now down to 17th spot. Reed has got around him. I believe. Yeah, Reed is up a little bit. Let's go review this. Where is Reed right now? So I'm having trouble as well. Reed running in 25th. Yeah, he ran into some issues.
Oh, big trouble for Alexander Waldo in the final turn. Oh, he gets help, though, I think, from Gunnar. Was it from Gunnar? No, that was from Jean-Francois Godin. You'll see it here on the replay. A little bit of contact turns him all the way around. Waldo just going to get a little bit of contact there on the left rear. He'll get the car back going.
But what that did is Godin basically had to stop until Buildup got that car spun out of the way. So Godin, now all that work that he put in, he falls back to 12th position. Now we'll go back to P4. This is Chambers leading Newton. Newton trying to find a way around. They're working down. They're going to be heading into the... There we go. They work that one. They're going to go through the final designator. Now they go under the underpass, beneath the underpass. Look at the defensive line that Chambers is taking. Let's see if he defends the hairpin on the inside. Kinda. Newton some way around. Not going to be able to find it. We'll stay on this a little bit longer. See what happens. They go into Spoon. This is a battle for fourth. Up in front, not much going on. Dometer in third. Portel in second. McLeod running away with it right now. Up by 4.5 seconds. Look at this. They go side by side. Now ducking to the inside. That's the flying V. He's going to be able to get that done. No, I apologize. That's Newton. Let me get that straight. Newton gets it done. There we go. Chambers drops back to fifth.
Soup, let's go back through the pack just a little bit because Christian to catch right now is stuck in 15th. Harry Damon right in front of him to catch, getting ready to overtake Damon as they come up the front straight here. It's going to be to catch going into 14th. Now there is a tremendous gaggle of cars behind them that includes Renee Osterkamp. And listen, they are digging right now, Soup. Just now, 19 minutes to go.
Yeah, what is interesting is 8th position right now. We can look at that. We're looking at 14th. There's to catch. He's going to get in this mix in a second. 8th position. This is Emre. Now here comes the fast guys. He's got Lindstrom behind him. But here comes Gunnar Nienhaus. Remember, he's your feature race winner. And look, he's got around all of his rivals from that feature race. He's running in 10th. He's looking to get around Lindstrom and Emre here as fast as he can. But right behind him is Godin that we've seen have his issues going forward and backwards in the field. Ashley Howe back in 12th. Daniel Morris behind that. The catch has a ways to go. But Gunnar Nienhaus, in fact, there he goes. Gunnar makes short work there of Lindstrom. Up to 9th.
We've got a battle for second place, it looks like, up here, Sue. Dometer and Cortel going at it.
Yeah, now that... Checking my... Was that pass? Yeah, that was a mistake. What happened there?
And DeCortel spins it, Sue. He spins it in the hairpin. Everybody getting by. Oh, my, this is costly.
Yeah, that's the second mistake. But Cortel made a mistake that let Dometer get by originally. Then Cortel has that big error, losing those spots.
The hairpin is so tricky. And it bit DeCortel there. Now he's got to get back to work here. He's got Daniel Morris. I'm sorry. Is that Daniel Morris there? And Ashley Howe.
He's working side by side with Hal right now with Morris out in front of him. And then the guy coming up. Here comes Christian to catch. We'll stay on this a minute. This is the battle for about 12th position. To catch, looking for somewhere to go. He's the guy watching the whole thing back there. They kind of fly in diamond formation. And going off the track, losing positions now, that's Hal. So he falls back, getting around Hal on the outside. That's Damon. A big pile-up back there, or not a pile-up, but a big check-up back there. A driver that's off in the Casio Triangle. Spinning around, that was Nienhaus. Yannick Nienhaus and Silvio Hurt.
Yeah, and Silvio Hurt, the big loser, still stuck out in the kitty litter. He's going to stop it and tow in. His race is over, Sue.
We're looking at the replay right there. A little bit of incident. We're not quite sure who he had contact with. Might have been with Gunnar Nienhaus, we think, because he was kind of in the area. So let's go ahead. We'll check in on these one more time. Let's go ahead now up to 7th position. And this is where now Gunnar Nienhaus has got around all these guys. Remember, he had that work to do. So he's got around all the drivers. Now, he hasn't got around Godin. Godin is still following him through in 8th. Lindstrom back in 9th. Morris in 10th. Then you get back to 11th, Sean. Here's the guy, Christian to catch, trying to work.
Yeah.
He's got 2 guys to get around now.
Yeah, he does. And you know what, though? The fight behind him is real, and there's some fast company coming. Renee Osterkamp stuck behind this right now, and he's got to get through Harry Damon to get there. But let's not give up on the effort here by Osterkamp. Up 8 spots now. Really setting up Damon here to pull off a big power move on him. as they come through the Spoon curve and make their way down the pack stretch. This is where it's all going to happen. Osterkamp going to try and slingshot around him here.
Remember, Osterkamp was your second place finisher in the feature. Comes right up on the back as we have right on the roadkill cam, right up behind the gearbox, and he gets that pass made, we think. There, he's able to close the door as we look at it from a distance.
And Damon got a little defensive there for just a moment, but he only made one defensive move, and then he let Osterkamp go. Good race in there, but Osterkamp now looking there at Drew and Joe Cortel. And
I have a car on his lid. We're looking at Holstein involved with, I think it's all the same issue. Holstein involved with, did you see this one, Sean?
I did. I think it started with Ashley Howell, actually. It's coming down to the final turn, and Howell gets tipped, I think, by Philippe Andre. Yes, it was by Philippe Andre.
No, I don't think so. I think it was Reed. Oh, you're right. He got tipped. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sean. He got tipped by Andre, then flipped by Reed.
And then Andre gets through the turn and then makes contact with another car. That was, who was that got off? That was Christoph Holstein on the exit of that. Man, that was really confusing, but a lot of cars involved there.
I think we got it described well between the two of us. Me stepping on you there, we got through it.
Now Silvio Hurt tried to bring the car back on track, but is done. Pulled off and is towing again.
Looking at odometer there, we see Newton now running in third. Those are your top three. Let's go back to fourth position. Chambers being challenged by Kmart. And then here comes Gunnar Nia. Now look at the pass being made here by the Orange Viking. That's Kmart. Similar colored cars. Those are not teammates, though. Martinson gets the pass made. Chambers back there, and now anxious to get around these guys is your feature race winner as they work through the Casio Triangle. Nienhuis, Godin, and Emre watching from behind. Chambers now staying to the outside. He's going to leave the inside open. And there you can see Gunnar tuck on in. This should be an easy position for him. Move Gunnar up into fifth. I think that's a little bit of a reputation pass. I think Chambers let Nienhuis go by on name recognition. Not sure if he's going to be quite so polite to Godin, who's behind him. Now
listen,
some technical difficulties there. Now we're back on board.
Ty McLeod, Soup, we suspected in the last race that Ty McLeod would be the man to beat here. Guess what? He is opening now to 4.5 seconds on Bruno Dometer. Almost 10 seconds back to Newton. The rest of the field has a long way to go to catch him. Ty McLeod just needs to stay focused right now, hit his marks just like he did in the feature race. The consistency is what got him here, and you know what? I think it's going to be the consistency that takes him to victory lane if he can pull it off.
Look at the Orange Viking fending off the points leader right now, Gunnar Nienhuis. They head down towards Spoon. This is a battle for fifth. It's a Force Fissy driver there for Knut Martinson racing for Force Fissy, the Carbon Racing of Gunnar Nienhuis. Now, Sean, look at this. Gunnar coming. He's got a bit of a run. He's going to try it into 130R. That's a bit daring to do it there. They got to get it sorted out, I would think. And they do.
Things have a way of sorting themselves out, Soup.
So 23rd to 6th, 23rd to 4th right now. It's Gunnar's drive. They've got the lapped car and the right to get around. That'll be no issue. And then he'll see if he can get up to Newton.
Not a bad day at the office there for Gunnar. Certainly has his sights set on top 5 finish, possibly even a podium here.
Yeah. What we do in the pre-race show every time is show you the points leader for each event, and we would think that Nienhuis is certainly going to do it with a win in the feature race and now running in a podium position. That's going to help him in the point standing. Sean, we've talked about it. That's what you need to do. is have a good feature race and then try to survive the sprint race.
Survive it, and listen, if you can dig your way through the field and do what Gunnar Niehaus has done, listen, that is really the best way to go. But Gunnar proving why he is where he is right now, really on the throttle most of the time. He is a half a second better than Scott Newton. Newton's going to be looking over his shoulder. Let's go back to a battle for 11th place.
Oh, and Cortell just had a spin. We didn't get there in time. Just going beneath the underpass. He was in a battle with Osterkamp.
Yep, right in front of Osterkamp, and de Cortell loses it here off the turn, and it's a self-spin. You're going to see it. Maybe just a little bit too much curve, maybe a little bit of the grass right there, Soup. Or turf, or whatever you want to call that green stuff out there.
So Osterkamp, who finished second in the sprint race now, has up to 11th. We were expecting big things from de Cortell, but he's had some issues so far today as he's fallen down.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's going to end de Cortell's race. That was heavy front-end damage on that car. I don't know if a wing replacement is going to get it. And, of course, with no pit stops being needed, Soup, once you've dropped out of a battle for position or lost the field, your race is essentially ending.
Let's move up a couple spots to 9th now. I think our director is at the front of this one here. This is Martinson running in 6th. The guy who's coming through is to catch. Remember, he finished on the podium. First up for him is the Flying V, Stevie Chambers. Then he'll want to get to Emre, and then see if he can wrap it up by getting through Martinson and Godin. Not sure if he's going to be able to get to Godin. But right now, to catch, working on that familiar yellow and blue car of Chambers.
Yeah, little Stevie trying to hang on here, keep Christian in his mirror, though, and it's going to be a tough thing to do. Evan Emre really having a solid run here in the sprint, up 7 spots. Finds himself sitting right there in 7th, Soup. A good day for Evan so far.
Yeah, Rolling Thunder doing very well up there, running in 7th, just behind Martinson. Just so you know, Evan, I'm going to keep throwing those RT names out there until I find actually what RT stands for. Pretty sure it's not rubber tires, but that would be good. Look back there, it's to catch now, trying to get around Chambers right now.
He is. He's working on it. I think maybe he's just trying to learn a little bit here and maybe, pick the best line to attack. Could happen here in the Spoon. Good place for an overtake.
Good battles. We continue. Look at that. There's the blue and yellow car. Says Stevie on the side. If you couldn't figure out, that's Stevie Chambers. But right now, I think the car that's going to be right alongside of the Stevie emblem is to catch. And he's coming down into 130R again. They get that sorted out before they get there. Ooh, took a lot of the curve there.
Yes, he did. Took a little bit of the turf with him, too, I think. Got a little grass on the tires. That was close. Apparently doesn't get any kind of a cut course or a slowdown there, so good job for him. Stevie, though, loses a lot of momentum behind that.
7 minutes of racing left.
Taking another one from Evan Emre here.
Yeah, we thought they'd get that one, then they got that right down the straight, so Emre falls back another spot. Next one up, it'll be, is that Martinson, I believe, in that car? Yep, Martinson's next to come. Let's jump up a few spots, up to 3rd, because Newton now is feeling the pressure from Gunnar Niehaus. Let's see how much of a fight Newton puts up. They work through the 2 Degners. Now, it looks like he's going to take a defensive line, but really there's this little corner in here. He takes a normal line into the hairpin. I think we know what Niehaus is going to do. We saw him make the move last time. He does it between Spoon and 130R.
Soup, can we fall back to 12th? Erka Lindstrom really having trouble with Patrick Kessler and Harry Damon ever present in this little battle for 14th. For 12th place. Erka leading that right now, but I'll tell you what, it's been a good battle, and Patrick Kessler, no slouch. He is really digging and just giving a lot of fight to Lindstrom right now.
While you were talking about that, we saw the pass by Gunner. Newton made him do it on the outside of 130R, so let's move Gunner up to third and then Newton back to fourth. So, Sean, what were you talking? Let's go back there and look at it now.
Yeah,
What we're
well,
looking at?
okay, and here we go. Pass being set up right now. Patrick Kessler trying to put the move on Erka Lindstrom in the final turn. Doesn't quite pull it off.
Again, more technical issues coming from Dallas, but now we're coming back. There we go. Now they're coming right at you. Thank you, Dougie Beer, for this camera shot. I love it. That's Lindstrom protecting, guarding the inside. Covering that inside like wall-to-wall carpet, but it doesn't really matter because able to make it around the high side is Kessler.
Yeah, very well done by Kessler there to hold on. And now this is the trick, though. Get yourself through the snake, get all the way to the end of it, and then try to get uphill and to the left here, all the while holding onto the car. This is it, Soup. So tough right here.
Back now looking at riding on board with Damon in 14th spot. Looking up ahead of Lindstrom and Kessler. Best battle on the track right now. We can stay on this for a minute.
Not much time left now. Ty McLeod just got to hang on here, but Dometer, Soup, he is closed. Dometer is now about 4.5 seconds back. That's where it's been. For all of Dometer's efforts, he's not been able to catch him.
We can stay on this. I can just report here that to catch, remember he got around Knut Martinson as well, so he's finished off all those drivers. He's got a long way to get to Godin. We're looking at Dometer right now. Maybe drop back a couple spots to Newton because I think Newton might have more issues on his hands here as Godin is starting to make a run in that 781 machine. Remember, Nienhuis just got around Newton. Of course, Nienhuis was the winner of the feature race. Godin did not fare as well. If you missed it, Newton was talking about in his... Was that Newton? I think it was Scott Newton we were talking about that he didn't like his setup. He had to make a last-minute change.
Yeah, well, we were talking to Scott before the race about that, and boy, last-minute changes are always a rough thing to have to deal with, Soup. It's tough to get readjusted after you've worked on something for literally hours. You know, it's a real trick.
About 180 seconds left of racing here, so we've crossed the 3-minute mark. Ty McLeod, as expected, out in front by 4.6 seconds. That'll take some of the sting out of a last lap or poor finish in the feature race. And then we talked to Bruno Dometer's teammate. Remember, he was mentioning that he thought Bruno would have a good race as well, and he is.
Yeah, he definitely called that, huh? It's almost like it was scripted, Sue.
All right, now there's Dometer. Now let's go back to fourth. We've been watching this. I think we got the pass coming up here in a minute. This is Newton. This has been the favorite place to get this done after they go through Spoon. And that's where they're heading right now. It's kind of a... Spoon is really kind of a double apex run here. You come out here, you got to get it going straight. I have issues with it. But now if you can get a good run off of here, Sean, down the straight, you can try to get something done before 130R or maybe into the Cassius Triangle.
Or get it done in 130R. We've seen that a couple times today, side by side through there. Let's see. That's the way it's playing out.
And a nice run. He does make him go around the wide side, but Godin gets the pass made up into fourth. Newton falls one more spot. The good news is, Scott, I don't think to catch, he was faster. I don't think he's going to have enough time to make up the 2-second gap that you have to him right now.
This is the last lap, Sue.
In fact, yes, we are on the white flag lap. Let's look at this fighting back now. They continue to go at it side by side. That's Godin on the outside. Scott Newton fighting back. Now Godin coming back in as they start to work their way through the twisty sections. They certainly got to get this sorted out here. Godin back out in front. Looking to do the over-under is the Newton, but he can't get it done. Now they head up toward Degner. Godin out in front in fourth position. We ride on board with, I'm going to assume that is Newton that we are on board with. Yes. Still looking for a way around. Our leader has quite a ways to go before he gets there. It's just heading in the spoon right now. We'll stay on this one because here's another chance to make the pass. I don't know if Newton had the run off of there, if he's going to be able to get it. This all going on, our leader working his way through spoon. These guys heading towards spoon. Will they be able to get this done? There we see. They're coming right at you. Duck your head. Right on board with Newton. Heading towards 130R. Our leader just not quite to the Casio triangle yet. We can get this covered. Here's the move. He's going to push it in there. And there's the pass. Now it's not done yet. We'll follow that. Our winner of the sprint race goes to Ty McLeod. Now let's jump back to third place here, and we'll see how this plays out. Fourth place. And it looks like now back out in front, it is Godot, but he's not done yet. Here comes Newton. Is there enough time? No!
Oh, and it all happened in the last curve there in 17. And boy, what a run by Godin. Newton just lost it there in the last curve. So what a finish there for those two.
Looking back for some other battles that might be going on farther back in the pack. How's Lee Robinson doing? No, he's already finished. He was a lap down, I guess. So that's... I don't believe there's anything else that we can march right now. So what we'll do on the Global Sim Racing channel, now don't go far. We're going to take a short break, then we will come back, run down the entire standings, do driver interviews, and close up shop. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. Round number 7 from Suzuka. Oh, we are from Suzuka. There. Know where you are, Soup. We just saw the sprint race. We love you, Detroit. Our winner, we thought it would be wire to wire. Sure enough, it was. It was Ty McLeod. Finished last on the lead lap of the feature race, and when it came to the sprint, he went wire to wire. Bruno Dometer, second place. A great run from him. Started third, moves up one spot. Gunnar Nienhaus, 23rd to 3rd. The winner of your feature race gets a podium and probably the overall winner for sure when it comes to points. Jean-Francois Godin and Scott Newton go 4th and 5th. Your next 5, Christian Tkach, Knut Martinson, Evan Emre, Daniel Morris, and Renee Osterkamp. Sean?
All right, let's get the second 10 here. That's going to be an 11th. Little Stevie Chambers. Good run for him today. Patrick Kessler. Solid run for Kessler, actually. 12th. 13th for Urkel Lindstrom. Did all he could. Harry Damon, 14th. Luke W.S. White, 15th. 16. Going to go to Sarah Dove. This was a struggle. I got to be honest, Soup. It was a struggle for her today, but she'll be back next week. Carrie Nolden. Struggle for him as well. 17th. Ashley Howell, 18th. Lee Robinson, 19th. And Sudden Strike DeReich. Lawrence DeReich is going to finish 20th today.
Just to follow up on Sarah Dove, I honestly don't think we covered her much at all. Yeah, she was really not much of a factor here. Okay, with an ace on the felt and the dealer throws him a face card, that is Christoph Holstein gets the blackjack position. Jeroen Dequartel in the double duck spot, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Yannick Nienhaus, Phil Reed had issues. We documented that. And then Alain Felipe Andre gets 25th. Rounding out the rest of the field, Sylvia Hurt, Alexander Valdo, Manuel Hauer, Adam Tierney, the milkman Adam Cowie in 30th, and the last car on the grid, Mark Forte. Well, we are blessed. We didn't think we were going to have anybody to interview, but Sean, I guess if we had a choice of one guy we could talk to, this would be the guy. Let's let you talk to the Flying V, Little Stevie Chambers.
Our buddy, Little Stevie Chambers, man. What a race. Always fun, isn't it?
Absolutely. Every time. Well, I'd say every time. I'll say every time for the sake of making a good impression. Yes, every time.
Well, Stevie, this track presents a lot of challenges. What's your favorite part of this track?
Everything except for the final chicane. The first act is just like the most fun ever. It's like being on a roller coaster, and then the Degners are like thread and a needle. And hairpin's fun, spoon's fun, 130R's really fun. Chicane not so fun. I like
not
that
so
bit.
fun. Well, I'll tell you what. You carry so much speed. Out of the spoon curve there, all the way down the back stretch. I mean, you are wide open in 7th gear. I can understand why you don't like the last curve. It's really, really tough to get a perfect entry through there every time, every lap, isn't it?
Yeah, it's plus it's a slight braking zone on a bit of a corner with a massive curb on the inside. It's just annoying. Everywhere else is really fun, and it's just that one bit that I don't like. But it's a great track, and I hoped it did some entertaining racing.
Stevie, I got to ask you, what is the association between the two teams of the AOR, what is this, AOR podcast that you race for, and Force Fizzy? The cars are painted the same. Is there a relationship between those, or is this coincidental?
They're jealous of our amazing abilities. No, unfortunately, Force Fizzy was set up first, and that's because Knut Martinson, who owns Force Fizzy, is a bit vain, loves himself a little bit, and has a team surrounding himself, whereas our team, AOR Podcast, is the official team for the AOR Podcast, which we host on the website, which is every Saturday night, so you should come and watch it.
Okay, so when we saw you racing there with Knut, there's no team orders there. It's every man for themselves, right?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you saw my hilarious last lap in the feature race, where I was defending from Scott Newton. Well, Knut joined our Discord between races, and basically I ended up being given a 48-second time penalty by iRacing, which he very kindly reduced.
Oh.
So I actually got some points. And so in the sprint race, I saw him and I was like, well, kind of owe him one now. Plus, I kind of humiliated him by going around the outside at turn 1 in the feature race. So 1-1, let's say.
Well, it was a good performance. We enjoyed watching it. Always good to watch you on the track. Always good to have you in the interview as well.
And it's always fun to be interviewed by you guys. So thank you very much.
All right. Thanks to little Stevie Chambers there. Soup, you have caught up with our winner today. Welcome in Ty McLeod in the winner's circle.
Ty, we were watching it in the feature race. We said, okay, if this guy can manage to stay on the lead lap, let's go all the way back. We're going to save the sprint race. Let's go back to the feature race. You made that early stop when you had the incident. Did you think you might be able to do it with only one stop, or did you know you had to come in for that second splash and go?
To be honest, I thought it might have been tight coming in for just the one stop. I was chancing my luck, really. I thought I would go as long as I can, but I think it was maybe about three. I had about 3 laps of fuel left in when I came to pit, and it was just, I knew then it wasn't going to go to the end of the race. So yeah, just focus went on getting a quick pit stop done, no more mistakes, and stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, it was interesting. You got in and out. You get about 5 seconds ahead of the leader. All right. Then we go to the sprint race, and pretty much you start in front. We figured you'd get the win. You're one of the fastest guys up there, and with a 25 lap race, no real traffic to deal with. So, any scary moments?
Yeah, there was a couple. Coming through the second Degna. I had a big kind of slide that really kind of gave me a squeaky bum. And then there was another one going through Spoon Curve, but again, I thought I was going to lose it, so on the edge of my seat for that one.
Well, you got all the way through, and a good race for Infinity VRT. Now, you have no teammates, though, right? Are you racing by yourself today? No teammates for you?
I've got Lauren as the right teaming up with me.
There you go. All right. Well, good luck to you as you go along. We'll keep an eye on you. Good luck the rest of the way as we work through the second half of the season.
Thanks very much, Bill. Once again, thanks very much to Adapt for helping us get onto the tracks.
There you got it. Ty McLeod. What was that phrase? Something bottom. I didn't want to get into it, but it was it sounded something British there. Okay, what do you got, Sean?
I've got Evan Imre. Listen, 8th place finish for Evan today. I got to run with Evan a little bit in practice yesterday. Evan, you got to be just really excited about the result here in the sprint race.
Oh yes, very good night overall. I was 10th in the feature race as well, so 8th in the sprint is amazing, along with my teammate Martinson in 7th. So good points for the team.
Yeah. Now, listen, a lot of action out there on track in the in the sprint race, but it does seem like these sprint races are getting a little bit better as the season goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah, the standards of driving's getting slightly better. And the sprint races are more exciting because of it. My sprint race, I had Hoyer try to go around the outside on lap 2 and he crashed, and then there was a few other crashes, but nothing major like we've seen in the past. So it's getting slightly better. But yeah.
Hey, before I give it to Soup, I gave you a shout out on the broadcast. I want to thank you again though for hooking a brother up yesterday. Thanks, man.
Oh, it's fine, Sean. You probably didn't make you faster anyway because you're rubbish.
All right. It did help me put the car where it needed to be, but it certainly didn't make me any faster. No, I agree. Yeah, Soup, go ahead, buddy.
All right, Evan, I've been calling you really tough, rubber tires, rolling thunder. I leave it up to you. You can tell me what RT stands for, and I'll start using it, or you can just not tell me, and I'm going to keep making them up for the rest of the season. RT?
RT is Robert Thomas. That's what it really stands for.
All right,
that's my middle names, but you can call me.
No, I can't do it now. Robert Thomas, I got it.
Okay, I don't need to say. Here's Evan Robert Thomas Imre. Don't say that in the broadcast. Just say retweet.
Retweet. That's the best one. That one, okay, that's it. All right, guys, congratulations. Good job on your finish here today, man.
Thanks, boys.
I can't not use that one. Retweet is it. That's it. Is that going to do us for us? I'm waiting for information here. What's up, boys? We are all done. Okay.
We are.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for everybody here at the Global Sim Racing Channel. Let's go ahead and give some thanks here. Hey, stay with us now because this is important. These are the people that make this happen. We'd like to thank everybody at Apex Online Racing for organizing the Formula Renault 2.0 League and for all the members for supporting the broadcast. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music you heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Eckelm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact them.
Hey, and Soup, the AOR returns next week, May 5th, for a late afternoon round 8 event from Silverstone. Oh boy, Silverstone. Yay. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. To find out about all upcoming broadcasts or to arrange for a GSRC broadcast, a race of your own, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. You can also get us on Twitter at GSR Channel. And of course, over at Facebook, just type in Global Sim Racing Channel, we'll come right up.
And a personal thanks to all the workers at my local Taco Bell here in Lakewood that last night actually made my fast food resemble the picture that was on the order menu. That has never happened before. Thank you, guys. I told you I'd give you a shout out and congratulations for what you do. And now on behalf of my partner, Sean Ambrose, Wacial Whiteboard, who was our spotter today, Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storm at the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.